Hi friends, so we're in weeks 3 and 4 of your education class, and I wanted to go over a few things this week and remind you of some due dates and explain to you what you're doing in this learning module. So let's take a look at the schedule right fast, and while it's loading, I'm just going to remind you it's a good idea to print this off and just have it as reference. I print all of my syllabi off because I get myself confused. So weeks 1 and 2, you should have gone through the discussion board for your introduction. Should have read chapter 1 of clinical lab education, and I hope that you did get my email about the actual book. I'm going to provide you your content. Assignment 1 in Blackboard, which is due on the 23rd. If you can't get in on the 23rd, the 24th is fine. Just don't let it be like weeks late. When you are busy with life and family and work and what have you, if you can't meet that deadline right then, I'm more concerned about you turning in quality work than turning in something that's not as good as what you could have done, because if you had more time, you would have been able to do it better. So if you needed to turn it in a couple of days late, it's fine with me. It's not a problem. I will not deduct any points. Now, if you turn it in weeks later, that's a bit different. We hit deadlines in the laboratory, and we're probably one of the best in healthcare at doing that. And so I know that you guys know the importance of timelines, turnaround time, etc., etc. If you need anything, you have questions about it, let me know. You should have come up with a topic for your project, and you need to get that to me by the 23rd, and we'll go through that with this video. So weeks 3 and 4, we're going to talk about goals and objectives in education. There's a big difference between the two of them. I'm going to go over a little bit about that in a minute. So review the Chapter 2 material that you should have through your Blackboard course. Engage in the discussion board question, and make sure that you post and reply to someone else's post by the 7th of February. Make sure you complete your Chapter 2 assignments, which are due by the 7th of February, and write goals and objectives for your learning unit and turn them in by the 7th of February. We'll go over that. So make sure that you are keeping up with this schedule. And if you have questions about the schedule, please let me know. So let's see what we have here. Let's look at your learning module for this week. And let's see. All right, learning sequence. Okay, learning module 2. We are going to go over the second chapter of your text, view the presentation under content, and complete the discussion board at the bottom of the page, which will take you to your discussion board linked over here. You can either access your discussion boards through this link, or you can access it through there, okay? Now, under content, if you click on this section, it will give you a link to information that you're going to need. We're going to talk about Bloom's taxonomy this week, and more than likely, I'm probably going to come back to you midweek, just so that this video is not super long, and talk to you a little bit more about Bloom's and explain it a little bit better, and it helps you learn how to write objectives. Education, anytime you design education, is designed in a sequence, and you establish your learning goals and your objectives. You design instructional activities, and you design evaluation to make sure that your learners can meet the objectives through the instructional information that you've given them. So we're going to go through that this week. Discussion board 2, let's take a look at that. So in your discussion board, you should have introduced yourselves this week, and I've gone through those. Discussion board 1, you should have gone through that, and I'm looking at those now. Discussion board 2, in this discussion, explain learning sequence and what defines a learning sequence. So don't read any of your classmates' posts before you do this, so that you can have your own unique post, because everybody might have something different to contribute to this. So make sure that you post your original content before you read everyone else's. That's the most effective way to use a discussion forum. And trust me, I've been in discussion forums in the past when I have no clue of where to go and what to do, and say, have I gone and read previous posts? Absolutely. Did I shortchange myself? Yes, I did. So even if you are completely off base with what learning sequence is, it's okay. Mistakes are good, and they're learning opportunities. So make sure your post is unique. Like I said, I'll come back to you about midweek just to go over the Bloom's taxonomy. Bloom's taxonomy is one of my favorite things. And to be quite frank with you, I'm a 20-plus year clinical lab scientist, and I love that profession, but I am an educator now, and I love learning and teaching others about how to design effective instruction. So this is, although it's a 1-hour class, it's one of my favorite. And could I turn it into a 4-hour? Absolutely. But will they let me? No, they won't. And you're probably glad about that. Okay. So let's look at this, your learning education project. So no tests in this course, but you do have a final project. Instructions for the project are here, and we have gone over that. So milestone number 1, this is the first thing that you're going to need to do, which you should have already done, or you should be turning in by the 23rd, which would be the title and topic and title of your educational model. The next milestone, which is going to be due the 7th of February, are your learning goals and objectives, or your learning goals for the actual project. Learning goals and objectives are different. Learning goals is what you, as the teacher, want the students to learn, okay? So as a learning goal for this, I might want to say, at the completion of this learning module, I will have the ability to design effective instruction, okay? That's really broad. Objectives focus that. Objectives are how your learners are going to achieve it. So if my goal is to design effective instruction, the objectives are to understand what Bloom's taxonomy is, to understand how to write a good question, to understand how to fairly grade students. So, and we don't like to use the word understand, but those are just examples. So the goal is what you need to achieve, and the objective is how you're going to achieve that goal. And we'll learn more about that as we go along. So your project is going to need to have 3 to 6 goals that you want your learners to master by the end of your instruction. And what you're going to see is each one of these milestones build upon each other. So if you haven't taken time to go through all of them, please do. So focus on Module 2 over the next 2 weeks, and I'll come back to you midweek, and we'll go over some more stuff about Bloom's taxonomy and how to write good objectives. And if at any time you have questions, please don't hesitate to either post to the discussion forum or email me or text me. Either way, I'll be glad to help you. So I hope you have a great week, and I hope you learn a lot about education. Thanks.